It's Nutritionist Trisha Mandes here, and I am so excited because I have a graduate of mine, Janet Ford, who's 67 years old, who is going to let us know how eating optimally has been for her after graduating my program because she's been maintaining her results, maintaining her habits. She's been maintaining eating optimally for her for a total of 8 months now. And 5.5 of those months have been on her own. And so many people come to me because they want sustainable, maintainable results. So Janet is here to share what that actually looks like. Thank you so much for being here, Janet. I really appreciate it.
Hi, Trish.
So glad that you're here. So I want you to bring us back to how you felt right before you joined the program, right before you started working with me. It's important for you to remember what that felt like. And I know it will resonate with a lot of folks watching this because that's probably how they feel right now. So if you can I know it's a lot different now, but if you can bring yourself back to
Yep.
right when we first spoke, how were you physically, emotionally feeling in your body at that time?
Okay. Back then, when I first started, back in, I believe it was August 10th of 2022. And I called Trish because I was on my Facebook, saw her on Facebook, and said, wow, I watched some of her videos and said, man, I've got to try that. I'm going to see what happens because I'm at my wit's end. I could not lose any weight. I did keto and I tried to go back to keto, and it's like I was eating keto way I have not been eating any sugar for a long time and still no results. I was walking, I was doing all kinds of stuff, and it just would not leave. So what I decided to do was get um, onto Trisha's group, her optimal eating, and I talked to Trish online. And after I got off my call with her, it gave me hope, a lot of hope. I knew, I felt it in me that this was the thing I needed to do. So I joined Trisha's group.
And before you go into what happened, if you're comfy sharing, you have additional diagnoses, right? So you struggled to
Yep.
lose weight despite eating keto. If you're comfy sharing, what were those other health challenges and concerns that you had?
Okay. Well, I have 4 autoimmune diseases. I have lupus. I have rheumatoid arthritis. I have lichen planus. And the newest one, I would say about a year ago, was psoriasis. And they say when you have one, mainly the driver of the car is my lupus. So if my lupus is off the chart, everything else I'm gonna have all kinds of symptoms. So I went to the doctor and I told him, I joined her August 10th and I went to my rheumatologist in September.
Hold
And I
on,
told
before you go, I
okay.
know you are so excited to share the results, which I love because they're amazing. But to give some context for the people watching, so
Okay.
you have one autoimmune disease, you're at a higher risk for developing another one, which
Correct.
happened to you every couple of years.
Yes.
So what we have also done is working to stop the progression of that happening. But on a
Exactly.
scale of 1 to 10, before you joined, with 10 being the worst in pain, 1 being the least, what number would you say your average pain levels were at in the totality of your body with the autoimmune diseases?
I was probably anywhere between a 7 to 10 when I first started with you. It
What
was every week I was having an issue, a problem, pain. Uh, I got to the point where I was very depressed. So when I talked to you, and I remember this so well, when I talked to you that day, I cried because I had such relief that I felt this was the right way to go. And I mean, literally, there was a few calls that I cried, and only because I felt the release of the sadness that I had because I couldn't do this on my own. So the point where I talked with you and found out, oh, yippee yay, that turned into a great thing. You're so inspiring and you're so forward with your excitement for your clients to do well that set me off. And from then on, I have not stopped. I've gone through the journey. It was bad. And as I've gone through the journey with you, it's progressively gotten better and better and better. So I started in August, September, October.
I'm going to pause you for a second again. What exactly has progressively gotten better and better? That pain number? Is that what you're talking about?
Pain number? Oh, yeah. The pain number has come all the way down to either 2 or 3. And I mean, I'm surprised some days when I get up out of bed and I got this energy, I'm ready to go. And I
because what were your mornings like before you joined?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't.
Depressed?
I couldn't. Yeah.
Level out of pain?
Exactly. I woke up, I was always in pain. I maybe would make it to noon without having something, a need to lay down and stuff. And I do what I've done is I've said, you know what, self, you can still get tired and you can still rest to rejuvenate.
Yeah.
And usually I'm really good. I'm really good, but the pain level now is nowhere near what it was. My hands were super big and swollen. Now they're not. I can do so many things now.
What are some of those things, Janet, that you can do now that you weren't able to do 8 months ago?
Oh my goodness. We just came back from a camping trip. I hiked up and down some cliffs. I went fishing. I stayed out in the sun. I played. I listened. I listened to the birds, and the birds even seemed like they were happy for me. So they were out there clapping. But I can walk. Just walking was a problem for me. And now I walk and, I do my resistance bands and I still hold true to all the things. Although I did get a little bit lazy and I kind of not really stalled because I was going up and down and still trending down like Trish says, except that I kept getting stuck and I'd go back up and I'd go down and go back up. So I said to myself, well, you've been kind of lazy. You haven't done your exercises and maybe that's what it is. So when I went camping, I proved the point. I went out at 149 pounds, came back at 147 pounds. So I said, there you go. My answer.
And for those watching that's listening to Janet in the program, I always say this is not what healthy, sustainable looks like. Weight loss, the scale is not going to go down every single day in a row. It's like wanting $1 million to show up in your living room floor because you snapped your fingers. It's going to look like this. It's a bunny. It's going to hop up and down and up and down. But as long as your trend is going down, that's all we care about. But you went back to the tools that you knew of if I reach a plateau, one of the tools that you had is to increase the intensity, duration, and or frequency of your exercise. That's exactly what you did. So to me, one of the things I love about you, there are many, but is that you worked with me for 10 weeks and you felt really confident you could continue to do this sustainably, which is awesome because that's why the program exists in the first place, right? So now you work with me for 10 weeks. Now it's been 8 months that you've been eating optimally. And I wrote down the results you had after 10 weeks, which was you were off 2 medications from your rheumatologist and half of a blood pressure medication in 10 weeks. Amazing. Your energy was up. You needed less naps. You were down 13 pounds in 10 weeks. Can't wait to say where you're at now after 8 months. You lost 3 inches off your waist, 2.5 inches off your hips. Your hands weren't swollen anymore. I can't even imagine how that affected how you felt about yourself, let alone what you're actually able to do with them.
Exactly.
You said your face isn't puffy anymore, and your abs weren't hard anymore, and your hand pain went from a 5-6 to about a 3 in 3 weeks. Now it's been 8 months. I will let you share what you have continued to do with your own progress by yourself. So go ahead, share with us where are you at now 8 months later.
Well, 8 months later, I'm 25 pounds down. And I'm off 5 medications and I'm counting the days because like Trish tells you all the time, you've got to be in charge. You have to take charge of your health. You have to go into your doctor's office with a pad with questions written down saying, here's what we're going to talk to you about.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this. How do I get off this? When can I get off this? What can I get off? Because my list of medications was way longer than my supplements. Supplements meaning vitamin D, zinc, vitamin C, all those good things, was way shorter than my medication list. So now I went in, when I saw my rheumatologist, she says, look, your medication list is way shorter than your supplement list. So in September, when I was working with Trish, in September, I went to see my rheumatologist and he diagnosed me with fatty liver disease. So I thought, hold on just a minute here. So we did blood work, and my SGOT, these are liver enzymes, SGOT was 123, SGPT was 112. So just so happens, I just went to see him February the 28th, and both of my liver enzymes are within normal limits. SGOT 34, SGPT 32. No more fatty liver in 5 months. Yeah. Trisha teaches you how to eat. You've got to listen and you have to take a lot of notes. I have a notebook still from Trisha's classes that I take notes. I listen. She tells you exactly what you need to do, and you need to follow the steps, plan your meals, do the things that she tells you to do. If she suggests something on your meal planner, on your journal, you need to look at it. You need to say, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and do that. She told me, you do really good on soups. And I said, yeah, I do. I love soups. You do really good with this, that, or the other. So I switched it all up. I started making my own salad dressings. I started making some of the desserts that Trisha has. And they're so yummy. I don't like to eat anything. When I went camping, I made a
gumbo.
A gumbo, yeah. I made a gumbo, and it was with lots of vegetables, vegetable broth. I put pinto beans in it because I'm really not a fan of black eyed peas. But I switched it around. They call for oil. I use no oil. I'm gluten-free, dairy-free, oil-free. So I don't use any of that when I do stuff. I made, like I said, my own salad dressing.
Do you like what you're eating?
I absolutely love what I'm eating. I really love it.
Do you feel full and satiated when you eat?
I feel very full and satiated. Now, what I do is I have something like 2 hours later. It's a small snack. I made some gluten-free chocolate chip muffins that falls into my category. There's no eggs. There is no oil. It's applesauce. I have a list from Trish that tells me how I can substitute stuff.
I love your excitement. I love your excitement. So just to recap, you like what you're eating. You love what you're eating. You're full and satiated. So you're not hungry. Do you feel deprived?
Never.
Okay. Never. And you're down 5 medications. You've reversed your fatty liver disease that you found out you had it right when we first started. And correct. You kept doing this on your own. You no longer have fatty liver disease. Nope. You told me your CRP, your last CRP reading came back at complete 0. That is the most optimal possible CRP level of inflammation marker you could possibly have. And correct. What is your total weight loss now?
My total weight loss is 25 pounds. 25 pounds. What was the other thing I was going to tell you about my CRP? I looked it up, and my CRP that I first started with when I first got diagnosed was, take it back, my ANA markers, which is a lupus marker. Mm-hmm. And whenever I go to the rheumatologist, he always tells me, your lupus is the one who drives the car. So if that's bad, everything else is going to be bad. When I started with him back in October of 2015, my lupus marker was 506. Mm-hmm. And now when I went to see him in February, my lupus marker is 193. with a CRP of 0. 0. Woo!
I'm just so happy for you. I'm so
It's just
happy for you. And I
process.
also feel frustrated because I just wish so many more people would understand. And
Yep.
this is part of my job, how easy it can be and how impactful it can be, which is why I just love your spirit. And I want you to tell us about the happy dances with the two doctors.
He does this. Okay. When I went to see my rheumatologist, he had not seen me in 6 months. They see me every 3 months because of my lupus and where it was. But I saw his nurse practitioner, but she said she just looks good to him. He hadn't seen me in 6 months. When I walked in, he saw the door open, so he kind of just glanced over there and saw me. And then he glanced again and he says, "What have you been doing?" And I said, "Come see me." And so he came in and saw me, and we had a great talk. And literally, he did the happy dance. I stood up and we both danced right there. Just got done last week. Yeah, last week, Wednesday. Saw my cardiologist. And my cardiologist said, he came in and he goes, "Mrs. Ford," he goes, "what have you been doing?" And I said, "I told you I was on a health journey, didn't I?" And he says, "Man," he goes, "you're killing it. You've lost 15 pounds since I last saw you." And I had seen him after, Dr. Wickersham, which is my rheumatologist. So I had seen him after. And he too stood up and we both did a happy dance. And he said, "You keep it up. You are doing fabulous." So there you have it. You
Amazing.
know,
I do have some people that come to me and part of their goals is I want my doctor to be proud of me. I want to go in and shock my doctor because I'm sick of showing up and them saying, "You need to do this, you need to do this," even though the doctors have no idea how to tell them
right,
in
right,
a
right.
healthy
They
way.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they do, because I've been in to see my doctors and they've told me, if you lost some weight, things would be better.
Right.
If you did this or that, but never tell you how to do it.
Right. Because they don't know.
Right,
That's not what they're
right.
trained in. That's not what they're trained in.
Exactly. Exactly.
What would you say, Janet, to someone who's watching this video right now that currently is in a lot of pain? They're on a bunch of medications. They have a bunch of diagnoses. They struggle to get through the workday, come home, eat dinner, and then
Pass out.
have no energy to do anything. All they can do is watch some television, pass out, but then their sleep isn't even that good. They're not even sleeping well. No energy, pain, they're scared, they're hopeless. What would you say to that person?
I would tell them that, you know what, you really have to search deep down. So you have to find the importance of this for you. Don't include anybody else. This doesn't affect anybody else. It affects you and how you feel. So you need to search deep down and say to yourself, how important is this for me to feel better? I'm here to tell you I am a testament, a living testament, that optimal eating does work and that you can feel better. Um, I have to tell you a quick little thing. I actually have been in contact with my brother-in-law, and that's married to my sister. Trisha knows. And my brother-in-law has some issues, and he called me and he says, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Because I've never seen you post this much on Facebook, because you look like you're feeling so much better." So everywhere I go, people notice, people look at me and say, "Oh my gosh, what have you been doing?" It's not that I've lost an immediate amount of weight, but I've lost sustainable weight. My weight has gone down and up and down and up and down, but it's trending down as it goes down. You have to learn to celebrate yourself. When you make these big things happen in your life and you're eating food that you really like. So you need to look at the optimal eating way, the diet that Trisha tells you to do. And I went in on Pinterest and put in there gluten-free, dairy-free, oil-free.
And I'm going to pause you for a second. So the person
Okay.
watching this, just know you may not have to do exactly what Janet did because
Exactly.
her diagnoses
Yes.
were unique. So if you're watching this, you may not have to go gluten-free. Don't worry about that. There's
Yes.
like a general eating plan because humans are the same species. We're all designed
Exactly.
the same type of way. but there's tweaks and little different things that I do with each individual person depending on their diagnosis. But the most
Right.
important thing is it is my job to make sure you like what you're eating, you're full and satiated. I don't want anyone eating anything they don't like, because then it's never going to work long term. And then how are you going to shut
Exactly.
it down sustainably long term, which is the whole reason you're here. So I just don't
Right.
want the person watching this to think, oh my God, I have to eat gluten free and I can never have a
Oh no.
bite of meat again, or you know, it's,
Yep.
you learn how to be
Yeah.
flexible, treats, and you fully understand, if I eat X, even if I want to, I can. This is how my body's going to feel if I do it. And then you get to make an informed, conscious decision of what you want to do.
Exactly. So Trisha has me eating no animal protein. So I will tell you that I did try some, and I did not feel very good the next day. So I went straight back to my optimal eating, the way my food is, and I enjoy, and I just started eating that. Well, I did find out, I mean, you have to test it. Everybody does. I mean, it might not happen to you because I have something different than you, but you work it to fit your style and what you and how you need to eat. There never goes a day that I'm starving, ever.
And I
So
also just want to say, the fact that you kept this up for 8 months is so incredible in and of itself.
yeah, it's not hard. It really isn't hard at all. I do it every day. I know every day what I'm going to have. I have food prepped in my refrigerator. So if at the last moment I'm caught short for some reason or oversleep in the morning, I can still make a meal. No problem. Plop it into a bowl and away I go.
And
When camping,
Janet and I were talking about this right before we like started recording, is that um for her, being super prepped and prepared is really helpful for her. But
mhm,
there's also someone like me who's super on the go, isn't cooking that much at home, but I'm still eating optimally after over a decade, and have kept 25 pounds off for over a decade myself, because I just have the right packaged products. I know how to
yeah,
get at the grocery store. So again, I just say that for the person watching it. It doesn't mean you absolutely 100% are going to have to prep and prepare every single thing that you make. You learn how to be flexible with it
yeah,
and to eat optimally in any situation that you're in with food, and then find where your strengths are for you.
yep,
That's being prepped and prepared, like it is for a lot of my clients, but not for everyone.
exactly. Yeah,
So great
and that's
job.
what I do. Yeah, I do too. I search things and
Mhm.
look at the back of the container and see if does it fit me. If it doesn't fit me, I move on down the road to do something else. I know I love salad. I make my own dressings that I know I can have with no problem. And you just find the niches that fit that you can deal with. And
Mhm.
that's how you do it every single day. Every single day, you don't have to think about it. I can go to any restaurant and I can guarantee you that I can eat optimally there
Yeah,
with
I
no
love it.
problems whatsoever.
All right, one last question for you. What are
Okay.
you most excited about for your life now? Now that you're feeling better, you're lighter, you have more energy, you're in less pain. What are you more excited and most excited about for your life now that you couldn't even think about before you joined?
Probably doing things with my grandchildren. I have 15 grandchildren, but I have four that live right here in San Antonio. And there were days that I could barely lift my head off the pillow, much less get out there and do stuff. I mean, I'm ready to go. First, my three granddaughters, which are a set of twins that are 13, and then one that's 9, going to be 10 in May, and they love to go shopping with their Nana. So, I mean, it's a blessing to me to be able to get into the car no matter what time it is now. I don't have to watch my watch to find out, oh God, it's going to interfere with my nap, but I just go. But that's the blessing that I have out of this. And for anybody that's watching, really contemplate, think about optimal eating, look at Trisha's videos, know that you can do this. Only put one foot in front of the other every single day. You will get to your goal. Always read my advantage list. These are the things that I said I wanted to accomplish. And I've reduced and eliminated the pain that I had, my feet, ankles, hips, and back. And I mean, I'm doing fun things with my grandchildren already. I mean, there are so many things, like I said, shopping without wondering if I would have time to lay down and take my nap. You have to get out there and you have to put yourself first.
Amen.
You have to create love for you, and then you can pass your love to others
Yep.
by doing it.
I
Yep.
love that. Congratulations, Janet. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad you're still reading your advantages list, one of the homework assignments you had to do during our time together, and that you're also accomplishing your goals and that you're
Yep.
able to live more and spend more time with your family, because that's,
Yep. That's
so
life. That's what it is.
that's what it's
Yep.
worth. What's
You're
worth.
always in my heart, Trisha. You're
Saying.
always in my heart.
Thank you so much, Janet. I really appreciate it.
Yep. You be good.
Thanks.